Hey, friends, welcome to the break room with Coach Angie here at Ataruka. And we're here to talk about today navigating generational friction. Navigating generational friction. What do we mean by that? Um, let's just jump to the question and then we'll get to talking about it. So, the question today to think about, which I'm really going to pepper you guys with more questions. And you're like, really? Yes, really. I'm about to do it to you. I'm doing it. What is one thing, okay, about the new workforce? Now, I'm talking to our seasoned leaders here that genuinely stumps you or frustrates you? What's the one thing? Is there just one thing? Do you not feel stumped? And what I mean by that is, do you not have something coming to mind, or is whatever coming to mind that is coming to mind doesn't feel like stumping you because you feel like you already know the answer of why it's there? Hey, let's talk about it. So, um, I was talking recently with someone who is a seasoned leader, been in the game for a very long time. I think probably getting close to retirement. I maybe even could do it now if they wanted to, but they're getting close to that age. And we were chatting the other day about some of the work that I do and what Ataruka does and how we try to truly speak to this idea of seeing one another in the workplace, that a keen leader, an excellent leader is going to be able to scan, deep dive, really work all the different layers within their teams, within their organizations. And in that, it includes people. It includes people as more than just a means to an end. It's people as more than just a resource, right? And those things are true that we need people to accomplish what we're doing and all of that. But this is being a bit more inclusive of seeing more of a whole person. Okay. This is not a leader having to step in and be all things to each person on their team, but is definitely about recognition. It's about recognition and our leadership steps, how we move as leaders can be highly um, enhanced. Okay. We'll get further if we realize who we're working with, how they tick, what's standing out for them at the hierarchy, at the top of their hierarchy of needs? What's the thing that's making them get up and go? Okay. And we need to know that for ourselves as well, so that we're picking the right industries and organizations. And even if we are in a season where maybe we're not working in our ideal situation, when we know ourselves well enough, we know how to maneuver through seasons where we may not be doing the ideal, but we know how to show up in an ideal way in these circumstances that might not be as played as we would love to see them. Okay. But today we're talking about generational gaps and what is something that comes up for you. So I was in that conversation, like I was telling you about, and this person was sharing with me how difficult. They're like, you know what? The your niche and what you do at Ataruka is a little bit more difficult when it comes to talking with seasoned leaders who grew up in the game, just going to work, looking for the company that paid the most, put your head down, keep going. And they noted and said to me that what they've noticed about the new generations is that they want to be at places and work at places that they are feeling passionate about. They want it to tie in to passion and purpose. And she put it super candidly for me and said that the season leaders generally don't care about that and find it frustrating. Okay. So I'm going to lean into that thought process of maybe that's one of the things that you're seeing, that the generation is coming and they're wanting to tie into purpose. They need to understand, they want to see how it ties into, if it can't tie into passion, definitely some sort of purpose, right? There's an identity piece attached to where they invest their time. And I have a lot of theories of why that is the case. And I'm not saying that either option is necessarily wrong in how you show up or why you're showing up, but it will affect how you show up. That's truth, right? Regardless if you're coming for the paycheck or if you're coming for that connection to your passion or your purpose, uh, how we show up. What are we doing at the work site? What are we doing at the workplace? Now, bridging that gap. There is a gap generationally. We know it. We don't have to pretend it's not there. For some of us, we may see that that gap is a little smaller than for others. We all have our own personal experiences here. But there is a gap, okay? And there's a gap between how someone might even say the term traditional work ethic, right? Versus modern day values. I say you don't have a work ethic without having a set of values. We all have both, but where do we come in on the scale? And are we hiring for or choosing where we engage in the workplace based on a knowledge of how work ethic is set? Where's the line? Are we picking because of that? Are we picking because of values? If those things are misaligned, it doesn't matter how you show up, it's not going to work out, right? Um, what's the cost of ignoring the gap that's there? There is a cost, okay? It's there are things that happen. Toxic workplace. A lot of us in the past maybe got used to toxic workplaces because we got used to toxic relationships, and we won't go down that that road right now either. But toxic relationships or toxic workplace experiences come when we ignore the gap generationally, not speaking to it, not saying something about it. The other thing that happens, that it may not be toxic in nature, but it can fester, and therefore, if it's a silent fester, guess what happens? Quiet quitting, where you're showing up every day, but you're not in it. And so someone coming in and investing, um, purposely reserving themselves can really create an environment that's not cool either. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to do either of those things. What's something else that can happen? Lethargic engagement. People can not engage, or they're very lackadaisical in their engagement. And that just makes everything hard. Like you're pulling through sludge every day. Who wants that? No one. Okay. So, what are we doing as leaders? What I'm asking you to do is to listen for the why behind the what. What's going on behind their reasoning? The what being, in this case, wanting to show up to work to connect with purpose and passion. What is the why? There is a general why, and I mentioned a little bit earlier about self actualization and how important it is for us to, as human beings, um, really touch base with our belonging and touch base with our purpose. And the more we can do that in a work scenario, the better. Okay. It's the better we show up. Okay. Yes, we want our basic needs met. We want to be able to put food on the table. We want to be able to take care of housing. Okay. Those are basic elements. Healthcare. Okay. When something's needed, be able to do those things. But it's always going to be better. And there's always going to be more return when a person is connecting at their higher level of their self actualization, okay? Meaning that they just want to know that they're doing something that matters and that their contribution to that thing matters. And so, as leaders, we have the tools in our hands to be able to make that happen. And it does involve getting to know our people a little bit. Okay. Maybe we need to understand them a little bit better. But there's some generalities that you can do even before you start engaging in that one on one context. You can make some general sweeping approaches that let people know you see it and you understand that it exists. Even if you are still in a season, you're preparing for legacy, you're preparing for exiting. And so maybe you're not switching up that the thing for you that's important is getting that paycheck, okay? And it's still taking care of all the needs. Maybe it's about your retirement, your 401k, or your however you're choosing to build that retirement plan. But as a leader, we know it's not just about us. So what are we doing to bring a difference into this workplace environment now where there are so many people wanting to connect to their purpose? Well, it's how we lead, it's speaking to those things out loud. It's building our frameworks and our approaches, our policies, and our processes with those things in mind. So, speaking to them and then creating elements within our processes and what we're doing that say we believe what we're speaking to. Okay. All of that and the work that we invest there will feed into retention. That's the whole goal here, right? We want people sticking around. Retention comes from mutual respect being had. And how can you respect someone mutually if you don't pause to see them? If you don't pause to understand? If we don't pause to recognize that though we may have thrived or for some of us survived how we did the workplace engagement coming up, we shouldn't be like feeling negative or putting down or dousing out the actual expectations of the next generation who want to do it a little differently. They wanna go to work, they just want it to matter, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? So, for us, it was drilled in a little differently. We still wanted to matter, but we just got told what mattered is just showing up, put your head down, and get it done, right? I mean, a lot of us did. I'm not saying everybody, I'm talking in generalizations right now, but retention is going to be the byproduct of mutually respecting one another. And what does that mean for you as a leader? Guess what? Better numbers, better return on the investment of you changing that leadership approach, of you speaking to these things, of you taking the time to connect the company's goals to individuals or generational goals of having purpose and passion. There's an ROI for that. Okay. It's super expensive when people are leaving often. That hiring process, that training process, all of that. And when they leave, everything that's been invested to that point is gone in that regard. And especially when they leave pretty quickly and or quiet quitting and then still leaving. It's all expensive. So let's invest on the front end, okay? And let's start speaking to and bridging that generational gap. Now, here's what I'd love for you guys to do this week. Okay. Sit down and have a little curiosity chat over a cup of tea, coffee, water, whatever you want to do with a team member. Okay. And choose one from a different generation. There's room for, having it out and talking with someone who sees things the same way that you do. There's something in that, okay? But in this exercise, find someone from a different generation, sit down, open up that curiosity, see what you learn about that gap and how you might be able to help fill that as a leader, okay? That's going to put you out front. Ask them about what um, their values are when it comes to the workplace. How are they connecting? What do they see as valuable? How do they see themselves bringing value? Articulating this out loud is going to be helpful, right? It's going to work. It's going to do it. Trust me. And don't do a one and done. All of these things that I'm talking to you about, give it a good fair shot, okay? And if you want some support in that area, we are here at Adarica Coaching to do that with you. But for now, we'll see you next week. You guys have a great one, and we'll see you in the break room, okay? Bye, guys.